Welcome back to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. In South America, Argentina continues to bring a case against medical experts who were tasked with overseeing Diego Maradona in the weeks leading up to his death of a heart attack at his own home. From BBC, quote, "The defendants say Maradona had refused further treatment and should have stayed in the hospital for longer after his operation. They risk prison terms between 8 and 25 years if convicted on the charge of homicide with possible intent." And in an opening statement, the prosecution said it intended to submit solid evidence that no member of the team did what they were supposed to do. Investigators have classified the case as a culpable homicide, a crime similar to involuntary manslaughter, because they said the accused were aware of the seriousness of Maradona's health condition, but did not take the necessary measures to save him. The defendants in the case are a neurosurgeon, psychiatrist, psychologist, a medical coordinator, a nursing coordinator, a doctor, and a night nurse, end quote. Across the Atlantic in Africa, Egypt is facing a large loss in revenue as the Red Sea and the Suez Canal face multiple attacks from the Yemeni military group, the Houthis. From Reuters, quote, "The Suez Canal, one of the world's most critical trade routes, has seen its revenue plummet by about 40% as ongoing attacks in the Red Sea push global shipping companies to avoid passage altogether. Instead of taking the direct route through the canal, vessels are now forced to navigate around the south tip of Africa, adding thousands of miles and significant costs to their journeys. This shift isn't just hurting Egypt's economy, which is losing around $800 million every month, but it also disrupts global supply chains, driving up shipping expenses and ultimately affecting customers worldwide." Next to North America, where Canada has sent its new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, to visit the King of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth of Canada, King Charles. From BBC, the meeting with Carney is the latest scene in an intricate diplomatic balancing act for the King, who is head of state of both the UK and Canada. King Charles has shown a solidarity with Canada without disrupting the UK's relationship with Trump, who is antagonizing Canadians with his economic threats and calls for Canada to become the U.S. 51st state. The king also has to avoid getting directly involved in politics and has to speak on the advice of ministers. Whatever he may personally believe about Trump's comments about taking over Canada, the king has to keep his thoughts to himself. Next to the Bay of Bengal, where Myanmar is facing a grave situation. The UN reports that U.S. aid cuts are having a devastating impact on Myanmar's most vulnerable communities. Critical food and healthcare programs have been disrupted, leaving many with essentially no support. HIV patients have gone weeks without medication, worsening the health crisis. The cut also increased risk of human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and mass replacement, with food aid reductions looming. Over 1 million people now facing the threat of famine. From Reuters, quote, "The abrupt U.S. aid cuts are having a catastrophic impact on Myanmar's most vulnerable, leaving millions without food, healthcare, and essential support. HIV patients have gone over 7 weeks without medication, and food shortages are pushing the country closer to famine." To the south in Australia, a video has gone viral of a woman picking up a baby wombat. She has been accused of mistreating the animal and possibly putting it in its harm's way, though she has pushed back against these claims. From BBC, she said, quote, "As can be seen in the video, that the mother runs off the road, but the baby does not, and Jones scoops it up. She says she ran across the road not to rip the joey away from its mom, but from fear she might attack me. The snap judgment I made in those moments was never from a place of harm or stealing the joey," the statement said. She said the video was not staged, nor was it done for entertainment, and in her excitement of the moment, acted too quickly and failed to provide necessary context to viewers online. In the second part of her statement, Jones launched a scathing attack on Australia's animal culling laws, including wombats, kangaroos, horses, deer, and pigs. And finally, we go to Europe, where a nightclub fire in Konkani, North Macedonia, killed 59 and injured over 150 due to poor safety measures and a locked exit. Investigators found the club's license was fraudulently obtained, sparking nationwide protests over corruption. From Reuters, people weren't just trapped by the fire, they were trapped by negligence. A single locked exit, a venue with no fire safety, and officials who looked the other way. Now families are mourning while protests erupt across North Macedonia, demanding justice and accountability for a tragedy that never should have happened. End quote. And of course, if you want to check out any of today's articles, all of them will be linked in the description below. That like and subscribe button, you can go and read them for yourself. You can get a little bit more context. And if you want to check out the podcast that comes out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's the exact same YouTube channel, exact same RSS feed, but it focuses on the US. It's anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. It varies very often, just depending on how long we need to actually discuss any of these current relevant stories. And if you want to check out all of these things, so you want to come back here on Tuesday, you want to come back here on Friday, go follow the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip. That is where I post the links directly to both of these shows, so you can get it nice and easy instead of having to worry about notifications from YouTube. So with all that, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe, don't die,